it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week to talk all things sewing bee for the last time. It was the final last night. It was a really fantastic episode. I'm sure you guys loved it as much as we did. There are spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, please go and watch it and then come back to this, because I will say things that ruin it if you haven't seen it. So I'm going to get started. So before I get started, this week was so difficult. Rachel and I thought it was going to be easy. There are only 4 people. It was so difficult. We really struggled. So I don't think we've got the perfect patterns for a couple of them. I'd love to hear your thoughts because it was brutal. Anyway, I'm going to get started. So the first challenge was, I really loved this. So the theme for the whole week was party. The first one was the sort of technical challenge was one of Esme's patterns. So it was called the Amorphous Dress. I really enjoyed it. I'm sure you guys did too, as a challenge. So the concept, if you haven't seen it, is that it's called that because when you look at it as a pattern piece, you basically can't work out what the top and the bottom is. It's only got one small seam that connects at the back, and then it's basically, for anyone who didn't see the programme, it's a lycra dress, and it has these kind of cutout pieces that go all the way down the dress, and it's basically, it's tied at the side with D-rings. So they were given loads and loads of different lycras to pick from, and Patrick said at the beginning, like, pick your lycra carefully. As soon as I saw what Brogan had picked, I was literally like, no, don't do it, Brogan. And she'd picked this like foil crinkled lycra that was obviously really difficult to handle. The dress was really, I thought they did incredibly well, because I would have absolutely gone to pieces because it's such a hard thing to sew. Obviously, because it's Esme's pattern, Rachel and I had a really good look. There was literally nothing like it. So if you haven't seen the dress, I'll pop a link down below to the blog post. So do go and have a look because you can see it properly. There's actually one in the V&A, so it's become sort of like, what's the word, like an iconic historical dress. So yes, that was that. So the pattern that we found, which is not similar, has a bit of a feel, a bit more sort of wearable, shall I say, everyday wearable, was a Simplicity S9370. It's one of the Mimi G ones. So it's really actually a lovely dress, jersey dress, high-necked, raglan sleeves. It's got a cut-out piece at the side with a belt. I think this is a really clever pattern actually, because it's showing a little bit of skin without showing very much at all. So if you want, and I love that it's high-necked as well. I think it's a really clever design actually. And if you are slightly paranoid and you thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't think of anything worse than showing like a bit of skin around here, actually this is really clever because of the tie, and it's quite a statement tie. You're actually only showing probably like this much skin either side of it. So you're hardly showing any, but it looks like you're showing more. I think it's a really lovely pattern. So if you haven't seen that, that's definitely worth checking out, and has a bit of a nod to Esme's dress. Obviously, you know, if you want to go full throttle, I think you'd have to cut your own pattern. So after that, the second challenge, the upcycling challenge, was I thought it was a really nice one. They had kept all the scraps from the entire series, and they wanted them to make a party outfit using those. Actually, again, quite wearable items that they made. So then at this point, everything was to play for. I think at this point Brogan had come low down in 2 of the challenges. So I thought, oh, I think she sort of lost it. Manyi had done quite well. Deborah had done quite well. Annie was sort of in the middle. Yeah, so it was everything to play for with those 3 at this point, I thought. And then they had the final challenge, which was making a jumpsuit. And I thought, I always love it in the last one where they're making it for a friend or you know, someone that they know. And it was really nice because I think obviously everyone's quite emotional in the last one, and it's nice to have kind of a familiar face. So I'm going to get started. This was unbelievably hard, and I don't know what happened. Rachel and I were just so upset because we couldn't find the perfect patterns, and I know that they were there. But anyway, I will get started. So I'm going to start with the one that I know was correct. So Deborah's pattern. She was making this for her friend to wear on her hen do, and I thought she did it perfectly. As soon as I saw the print of the fabric, I actually remembered this pattern, and she used quite a similar print, the kind of quite busy sort of 80s feel. So she used a Simplicity S9330. It was another Mimi G pattern. If I show you the line drawing, you can see it's really interesting. So it's quite structured underneath. It's got boning in it. And then it's got this kind of amazing sort of draped bit over the top. I thought it was really cleverly designed. I think this is such a good pattern. I have to say, I don't know if you probably haven't noticed, but Mimi G patterns have really won out in the sewing bee for me. And I think, yeah, I mean, obviously they keep hiring her because she's fantastic at what she does, but the proof is in the pudding, I think, and loads of people have used them, and they're just so much more interesting than a lot of the other kind of big four patterns. So if you haven't come across hers, she does stuff for simplicity, and yeah, they're definitely worth checking out. The other great thing about it is she's quite curvy, so she really focuses on making stuff look good on curvy people, which we're all pro, because let's be honest, we all got lumps and bumps. Anyway, so that one was right for Deborah. I'm nearly 100% sure that one was correct. So this is where everything kind of goes a bit, gets a bit more tricky. So Brogans Jumpsuit was a little short pair of shorts. It had tie at the little tie straps. And then it was quite fitted, and it had this sort of like ruching detail just around the bust. I thought this was going to be easy to find. Rachel and I hunted and hunted and just couldn't find anything that was perfect. So I've got two options, and neither of them are wonderful. If anyone has suggestions, I really want to know, because this one particularly was really bugging me. Now, Brogan historically has mainly used indie patterns, and these are both big fours. So this to me makes me think we haven't found the right thing. Well, we haven't found the right thing. So annoying on the last one. Anyway, I'm gonna go. So the first one we thought could work was the McCalls 7778. We picked this because it's got the tie straps. It's got panelled front little straps, which was very similar to Brogan's. It didn't have the ruching detail across the bust, and the shorts were too wide. So I was like, did she use this as a base and make something a bit more fitted? I don't think she did. I think, I don't know. Another option, which we thought was kind of close, but I mean, I'm not sure. It just felt kind of similar, was that she basically made a two-piece into a one-piece, and she used the Simplicity 9290. It has the same sort of feel, although it's a halter neck, so I was like, did she just change that? It's got quite a lot of structure in this, but I don't know, it's just so difficult. It's really foxed us, this one. So if you've got any suggestions, those were our two options. So Mani next was made this really lovely deep V-neck jumpsuit, quite simple in terms of the construction, and she'd used interesting fabrications. So she had sequins on this side, plain on this side, and then the opposite on the bottom. So one sequin leg and one plain leg. I thought it was really beautiful. Again, because it was quite a simple jumpsuit, I thought this was going to be really easy to find. So I've got two options for you. I'm pretty sure the first one is correct, but I've got another option just in case. I think she used the McCalls 7777. similar, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is it. Very deep V, that was the kind of core feature, and it had, I think it had darts underneath the bust and on the waist. A kind of not super wide leg, quite kind of like relaxed fit leg, I would say. So this one looked pretty perfect, and there's also an option with this to make it into a wider leg. Another, if you really like that shape, another option we thought was really good for this was the McCalls 7910. The difference with this is it's got a slight wrap and it's made using a jersey pattern. But I thought if you like that shape, this is actually kind of easier in terms of getting the fit right. And actually there's really nice options. You can make it with one shoulder, or you can have little straps up here. It's a really lovely pattern, but it's got that same sort of feel. So I thought those two were probably right. Well, I think the first one's probably right because she was using a woven. So then we had Annie, who really foxed us. So hers was really clever. She used a, so she had, it was a strapless jumpsuit, so bone top, quite relaxed fit trousers. Then the thing that she made was this beautiful, enormous bow that went on the back. She was inspired by something that she'd seen on the red carpet. It was, I thought, really clever. So in terms of, I started to think a little bit like a detective because I searched and I couldn't find any patterns. So last week she used the McCalls 6838 as the core construction for the dress that she used making the origami dress. I think she reused this pattern, the top part of this pattern, because it was literally the same straight cut, princess seams with boning. I was like, yes, I think that's what she used for the top. Because it's McCalls, I then thought, let's try and find bottoms to go with this for a jumpsuit from McCalls, because it would have the same block. It would be a lot easier to do that. So I'm pretty sure that was a top. Then I reckon for the bottoms, she could have used the McCalls 7909. I picked these because they had little, they had what's the word? A dart at the seat, just below the waist, which hers had. They were fairly straight cut, so kind of not too loose. They could have been right. I mean, I don't know. So this was another one that we found really tricky. If you think you've got some better options, let us know, because it really foxed us. Anyway, I thought Annie's was fantastic, and I thought that she was the right person to win. I thought she kind of really pushed herself, especially the last few weeks. She'd really sort of, I guess, probably out of everyone, she was the most creative in terms of her pattern cutting. Having looked back at all of the people and what they'd made, a lot of people really stuck to the pattern, but I felt it was interesting for me, or I found it interesting that she almost didn't see the pattern as the limitation. She just decided what she wanted to make and then worked out which things she could use and pattern cut. And yeah, she to me felt like the most creative sewer out of everyone, because she kind of really pushed the boundaries. Anyway, that is it. I'm really sad this is our last one. I hope that was useful, and we will be back soon with more videos, but we will also we're going to do a blog post coming up with kind of really probably our best, well, our favourite sort of outfits from the entire show. So I thought it might be a nice way to incorporate like what people were sewing, what people were wearing, because quite a lot of people wearing the contestants were wearing really good stuff. So look out for that, and yes, we will be back soon with another video. Bye!